This is a big part of my college experience. I wanted what I took in school to be based on my personality. I wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to just take business or, take any one of those really high expectational courses. I just want to share my college experience with a lot of people out there and a lot of family members who don't really know what my college experience was like. And it's nothing bad or it's not anything crazy. I just kind of wanted to share it, and I kind of wanted to tell it in the form of almost like a story, but also more of just getting to know me a little bit. I'm just gonna get started, and I'm gonna start from the beginning. So before I start, I just kind of want to say that some of the stuff that I do say, it's based on my experience. It's not anything that you must do, or everyone goes through different experiences. So I just kind of wanted to let you guys know this is what I went through in college. Not everyone is going to go through the same thing and experience the same thing, but I kind of just wanted to share it, and I just want to put that out there. So first things first, I am done college. This is my second time going to college. The first time I went to college was back in 2009 or 2010. I took an early childhood education program, and I graduated in 2012, and I worked at a few centers, and I just kind of overall worked in the childcare field for maybe a combined number of years, totaling of maybe 6. And after a while, it just kind of wasn't really my thing anymore. So I came to a point where it was very hard for me to decide what I wanted to do. I thought this was going to be my career. What do I do? I'm not really too fond of it anymore. So I had to really sit down and think, what do I want to do with my life? And it took me a while to kind of figure it out. And honestly, I'm not saying I know what I want to do with my life right now, but it came down to the point where I told myself, I think I want to go back to school. And when that thought came into my head, it's like, okay, so what do you want to take in school now? And I'm like, I don't know. Because the first time I went to college, all I just knew about going to college at the time was you just go to college. I didn't really know anything else. I didn't really have any particular skills that I focused on when I was in high school. So the first time I went to college, I liked working with children, so I assumed go to college and work with children. So I took early childhood education. So this time around, I kind of wanted to take time to think about what I really wanted to do, and I wanted to base that on what I was going to take in school. I wanted what I took in school to be based on my personality at the time as well. I was still at the point where I needed to discover who I was and, learn a few things. So I wanted to go to school for something that, vaguely resembles who I was around that time. So I decided to go to college, which is the same college that I went to before. So I decided to take the Executive Office Administration program. I wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to just take business or, take any one of those really high expectational courses. So I took this course as almost like a stepping stone for where I think I want to end up in the future. And if I have to go back to school in the future, I wouldn't mind doing that. But I just want to explain to you guys, I took this program because at the time I wasn't 100% sure, but I did know that this program would be a good stepping stone for that. Don't know if that makes any sense. So I took the Executive Office Administration program, and it was 2 years, but I took it in the span of 1 year, I think, or a year and a half. I did fast track where I started in January, and then I basically went to school nonstop for a whole year, and I went through the summer and everything. The only time we got off was a 2-week break at the end of semester 2, and that's it. And then everything just kept going and going and going until I finished now. So first semester was good. No problems there. I was very excited to go to college. I was super prepared. I got myself a nice bag, and I got these notebooks and binders and all that stuff. And if there's one thing I must say about myself, it's like I like to prepare for things and I like to be organized, which is another reason why I took that program, because this program is based on, you know, keeping yourself organized and keeping other people organized, and, you know, setting goals for people and just making sure things are genuinely or generally in order. So I was really prepared for school, and I was very, very excited to go. I remember the first day, like a little nerd, like I took a picture in the I took a selfie. First semester was good. Mind you, I hadn't been to school in maybe about, at that time I hadn't been to school for about, I want to say like 6 or 7 years. And so going back to school and going in this completely new and different field was totally, like, it blew my mind. And I don't want to say I wasn't prepared for it, but I guess I wasn't prepared for it because I took ECE, early childhood education, where it's very hands-on. You work with children, and, you know, you're very interactive with, like, other people, especially like young children and stuff like that. And then the program I took now is very computer-based, and I wasn't really a fan of the computer. I never really used the computer as much as, you know, I guess I should have, or any of that stuff. So I went from, you know, working with children, small children, to like the other end of the spectrum, working with computers and technology and all that stuff. So it was a bit of a transition over from, you know, this to that. But I think after a while I kind of got used to it. Like whenever we'd go into class, there's always computers everywhere, and I'm like, all right, so these teachers are trusting us to sit here in a class with computers and not go on Facebook? It was a little bit different for me, because when I took ECE, it was more of like going to a class, you take notes and you get handouts, and, you know, the teacher talks to you. There's no computers, or there's nothing around. So it was really different for me. Towards the end of semester 2, I found myself really striving to do good in school. Like, I really wanted to, you know, pass all my classes and, you know, get good marks. That was my whole goal for my college experience, was I want to get good marks so I can be on the honor roll. That's what I told myself when I first started college the second time around. I want to get good marks so I can go on the honor roll. That was my really big goal. And I set that goal for myself because the first time I went to college because I thought I needed to go to college. I thought that was just what people did. They went to college, and I based that up on the fact that I like children and I want children someday. But I never really gave it any thought as to, you know, why I'm going to college. I just thought I should go to college. So the second time around when I applied to go to college, I told myself, if I'm gonna go to college again and put myself in all this debt, I want to go to college and I want to get good marks, and I want to graduate and finish and start my career, because I am a little bit older. So when I started college, I set that really high goal for myself where I needed to get those good marks. So first semester went by, got really good marks. Second semester came and I got good marks as well. But towards the end of the second semester, I just started having this feeling that I'm like, I need to do good in school. And I noticed that because from first semester and then second semester, my marks went down, I think maybe like 2%, just like by a little bit. Like when I'm thinking about it now, it wasn't even that much, but at the time I made a really big deal out of it because I really wanted good marks. So it went down a tiny bit, like a smidgen. I can't believe I made such a big deal out of it. But I started to feel a little bit different after that. I started to want to get like really good marks. I started to like push myself really, really hard, and I started to have these feelings of doubt in myself because I'm like, I started getting these like negative thoughts in my head. It's like, if you get bad marks, and you won't be able to do this, you won't be able to do that. Second semester finished, and I, you know, still had these thoughts in my head. Went on a 2-week break, went on vacation, and then so third semester came, and I have to say that third semester was probably the worst semester out of all my semesters, and it was probably one of the hardest times, or one of the hardest experiences that I've ever had in my life, and I'll explain why. So third semester came, and after my very first test, it was in Excel, like everything started to feel a little bit different, just a little bit. I had my very first test in Excel and I failed it. And mind you, since I had started college, I have never failed anything. I've never done bad on a test. You know, I wasn't getting, you know, A++ or anything, but I've never failed. And I failed this test, and it's like something went off in my brain. And then I experienced my very first panic attack. Yeah, I experienced my very first panic attack. And I'm the type of person that I don't really show my feelings to everyone, and you know, I don't really talk, and I'm kind of shy and all that stuff. So I was in the test, and it's like I was sitting at the computer screen, and my brain went blank. And I don't know if anyone has ever experienced that before, but I was looking at the computer screen and I had no idea what I was doing, and I was actually like freaking out. I'm like, whoa, what is this? And I sat there and I tried like everything, and I'm like, what is going on in my brain? And then eventually everyone started getting up and leaving, and I was like watching everybody leave, and I'm like, how has everyone done their test already and I'm still stuck here? So everyone eventually left, and I was the only one there. And by that point, tears are coming down my face because I couldn't hold it in any longer. So I'm like, you know what? These tears are gonna happen right now because I cannot help it. Tears are coming down my face. I was the only one there, and the teacher's like looking at me, and she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, does it look like I'm okay? So I submitted what I had to the best of my ability. After that first test, it started happening more often, where if I didn't do something that I had planned on doing, or if I didn't get a good mark on something, or if I didn't like submit a project or hand in something on time, I started getting panic attacks. And it was very confusing because I don't get panic attacks. I don't panic for anything. I don't even cry in front of people. And then I find myself crying on the way home. So after like maybe like a month of just like going through these like ups and downs and all these things, you know, I just decided, let me do some research, because I honestly felt like there was something wrong with me. Like, why do I all of a sudden feel this way? So I did some research, and I kind of self-diagnosed myself as having anxiety. I even went to the doctor where, you know, they told me that, you know, they think I might be suffering from like anxiety and, you know, a smidgen of depression, because, you know, anxiety and depression, you know, they go hand in hand. But I was more on the anxiety side. Third semester was just basically a bunch of ups and downs, and me trying my hardest not to put so much pressure on myself, which was really, really hard to do. And like I said, the first time I went to college, it was not really anything that I thought about. When I went to college, I did the bare minimum. I did what I did to pass the class or to pass the course. I just did what I needed to do. So now this time around, going into college, I set this really high expectation for myself. And when, you know, it was kind of being threatened that I wouldn't pass a class or I wouldn't pass this test, it's like that big or that high expectation that I had set for myself, it was slowly getting like diminished, and I guess I couldn't handle that. So third semester was basically centered around me trying to kind of just figure out how I can deal basically with my anxiety. So at school they had signed me up with a CAP, and a CAP is just a accessibility program where they set you up to take your tests or your exams in a different room by yourself, and you can either have headphones or you can have help, or you can get up and walk around and bring water and stuff like that, just to accommodate you with, you know, whatever accessibility that you might need. And because I had anxiety, that got set up for me, which it came in very, very handy. At first I wasn't utilizing it as much because it was very hard for me to come to terms that I had anxiety. So it took me a while to utilize my CAP. I even forgot about it at one point. And then I also had signed up to do a group, an anxiety group, which wasn't going to start until the 4th semester, and that was going to be done at the hospital. So I signed up for that. So 3rd semester happened, and I was very stressed out around exam times. I had no faith in myself that I was going to pass any of my classes, because I just felt like everything that I did was wrong or it wasn't good enough, and it just stressed me out a lot. And I got my marks back and I passed all my classes, and it was kind of unbelievable, in especially the Excel class, because I tried really, really hard to bring my mark up, because the first test that we took, you know, that was a big chunk of your mark, and then after that I think there was like 2 more tests and a few quizzes. So I tried really hard after that first test to get my mark up, and I was so scared that it wasn't going to be enough. But I think at the end of the day, the teacher saw that I was really, really trying, and you know, she took note of that. And I don't know if she did, but I feel like she probably bumped my mark up a little bit because she saw that I was trying. I came to all my classes, I did all the homework, and you know, I tried my best, and I always asked her for help and stuff like that. So I think at the end she ended up bumping up my mark a tiny bit just for that reason. So that was my 3rd semester. 3rd semester was the most dramatic semester of my college experience. 4th semester comes now. And 4th semester comes, and I'm feeling kind of good because I passed my 3rd semester classes, and then I also started my anxiety group in my 4th semester as well, and it was like a 12-week anxiety program, and that helped tremendously. It taught me a lot of stuff. I definitely recommend it if you do have anxiety, to just check it out. You know, it was very difficult for me to say that, yeah, I go to a group now. Like, it was very difficult for me to, you know, come to terms with that. But at the end of each session, I found myself, you know, taking in the information that they were teaching me and applying it to my life. I gotta do what I gotta do to get better, right? Procrastinating is not a word. So at the end of just the 12 weeks of doing group, I felt better, and my anxiety had gone down a lot, maybe like half of what it was at the beginning. So I definitely recommend some type of, you know, anxiety group for anyone who suffers from anxiety or depression. In terms of school now, 4th semester was somewhat better. I was able to stay on track for the most part with my schoolwork. I did have some episodes where, you know, I did get overwhelmed and I did cry. I managed to get through 4th semester, and it was awesome. And that was around the time that I, around maybe, I want to say March or February time. Around that time I started my YouTube channel as well. I was gonna save my YouTube channel for after I was done college completely. That was the plan, at least. But I had filmed my very first video.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm gonna be filming my very first YouTube video right now, so it won't be the best, but we'll see how this goes. I don't know if I'm going to talk the whole way through. I'm just going to get started.
And, you know, the experience was a little bit different, and I wanted to experience what it was like to put myself out there because I am a shy person. And this is going to go into a completely different topic that doesn't even really relate to my college experience, but it kind of all ties in. So around that time, I started my YouTube channel, and I liked having the channel because it was a distraction from school. You know, if I got too overwhelmed with doing school stuff, I would either film something or, you know, work on editing something, or write down ideas of videos I want to film. So it was starting my YouTube channel was a good distraction for me while I was in school. But it was also one of those distractions where it was easy to get really focused on, like really focused on uploading a video, really focused on, you know, editing that video. So I didn't want it to get to a point where I was so focused on my YouTube channel that my school would suffer. And, you know, I didn't want to focus so much on school. That way it gave me, you know, so much anxiety. So I had to create like almost like a balance for both things, and at the end of it, it worked out because I was able to, within that frame of time since I started my YouTube channel and like now, that frame of time, I was able to create a good amount of videos for my channel on top of, you know, staying on top of my schoolwork and getting, you know, my grades and preparing for graduation and all that stuff. And if you look back on my previous videos, you could see that I did do you know, a graduation look because I was taking grad pictures that day, and it is on my channel if you guys want to check that out. So I kind of worked those two things together to kind of help me, you know, finish school strong, because third semester was so hard for me mentally that I kind of wanted a distraction. Third semester I was so focused on getting good grades because that's just what I wanted to have good grades, and it became very hard. So then it made me panic. So fourth semester, it's almost like I needed a distraction. And so I got my marks back and I passed everything, and I am officially graduating on June 15th from my program. Sadly, I did not make the honor roll. Even though I didn't make the honor roll, I'm very, very happy with my marks, and I'm very, very happy with, you know, all the lessons and all the experiences that I've learned, and I'm very excited to just go out into the world and, you know, throw my ideas at people and be creative and, you know, not be so shy and be a little bit more open with people. Just my personal college experience, and I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I hope you guys like this video. If you guys have any questions, don't forget to leave it in the description box below. So thank you so much for tuning into my channel, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.